everybody.
Hey.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
Back.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. The lion. New man on the so fine. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae Strother.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this is Let's Talk Football.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. Today, ladies and gentlemen, it's just me, but check us out this fall. Let's Talk Football. We'll be back, me and my amazing co-host, Janae Strother, back in the States, ready to shout out her Dallas Cowboys. And my Washington football team, we will be having a name coming soon. 2022, baby. Red Wolves? Renegades? I don't know. We'll see. But ladies and gentlemen, I am here with you today as part of the season preview series. We are giving you a fans' outlook at their teams, talking about, everybody from the Panthers to the Giants, my football team, and to my next guest. My next guest is a die-hard Baltimore Ravens ladies and gentlemen, lives in the area, does all his work on YouTube and his podcast, announcing, being a journalist, taking care of business, giving you all the sports and news notes. He comes with us on Let's Talk Football Roundtable and gives us that inside word about the NFL and about his beloved Baltimore Ravens. So I'm going to bring him in here in just a minute.
First of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find, but I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys that they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
My man, Nathan Snell in the building, Ravens Insider. What's up, Nathan? How you doing, Playboy? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you feeling today?
Man, I'm good to go, man. It's a beautiful day. I just got done interviewing my nephew, Buffalo fan, got his music thing going on, man, trying to man uplift everybody and bring my people to the masses, because we got good things, man. We got good things. Hey, yo, let me speaking of people doing big things, man, tell the people about what you got going on, man. I know you just did your podcast. I was on it with Ablo last night, just yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? I can't, it was late, so I don't know. I got up, we're right to work, man. So talk to us, man. What's going on?
Yeah, so a few weeks ago, I decided to debut a podcast, Big Nick Talk podcast, where, it's kind of a devious from what I've been doing on my channel in terms of, creating content. I mean, pretty much the podcast is I cover, from football, baseball, basketball, NBA and WNBA. I try to cover every sport as best I can. And I also try to take the opportunity to give those that the media doesn't really give recognition to. So I do my best to really kind of bring out every aspect of the sports, and then some social politics as well. So definitely check me out. I'm on Google Podcasts, Anchor, and Spotify, and a couple other streaming sites.
Yeah,
that came out of my head.
and your YouTube channel, one Nathan Snell. Again, that is one Nathan Snell, all one word. Yep. Definitely check him out. He's got many videos. This man does not sleep, ladies and gentlemen. I know I'm a person that doesn't sleep. I did the overnight for several years, but this man will be going early in the morning. He'll be going late at night, man. There's sometimes where I'm, getting up, going to the bathroom, and I'm looking on in line, and he's on there talking something, man. but he grinded. And hey, I'm all about that, man. I'm all about it. That's a man after my own heart. But ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk football. You know what we talk about on Let's Talk Football with Janae Struther back this fall. And I'm here with my Ravens insider, man. I'm here with the guy that loves that purple, loves that, plays Baltimore, man. He's doing his thing. Most recent thing, it's off season, mini camp, training camp. Some of those things are coming up. Some of those things have happened. But the most recent thing of impact that has happened was we had the draft. Ladies and gentlemen, actually, my man Nathan Snell was on. We had a draft special. Let's Talk Football, the round table with myself, Nathan Snell, Nick Rosario, and Delilah Crespo. We had a little draft special in Chicago, and Nathan Snell came in and guest picked for both of his picks in the draft. So, Nate, how do you feel like you guys did in the draft?
Well, I felt like Baltimore did a really good job. They addressed a couple things. One, a number one wide receiver was needed. And then on top of that, a pass rusher was needed. Those are really the two big areas of need for Baltimore. I was shocked Rashard Bateman was there for us to taking. I expected him to be gone like before us, I think, with Tennessee or Cleveland, which I think also was like New York, the Jets. I really preferred Jeremiah Okey instead of Odafe. But Odafe, I think he's really how can I explain this? He's more of a prospect because he didn't get a sack at Penn State. So I think he's just basically an athletic pass rusher, but we'll see. I like the pick of Ben Cleveland, who people that don't know he's related to Braun Strowman, former WWE superstar. And then we got Brandon Stevens, defensive back. I feel like that was a good one because I know Jimmy Smith is not getting any younger. I know he's going to be out the door probably another year or so. So why not find a replacement for him? I like this kid we had gotten Tylan Wallace out of Oklahoma State. Yes. I really feel like Baltimore is going in a different direction as far as wide receivers. And even though I feel bad for Duvernay and Poche, that Harbaugh never – that's historically with Baltimore. We draft wide receivers like that. We never give them the opportunity to really show what their talents. I don't know what that means for Miles Boykin going forward. And then we also got Sean Wade, another defensive back out of Ohio State. Dalen Hayes, linebacker out of Notre Dame. And then Ben Mason, who's a tight end and a fullback. So that was kind of weird. I didn't think we would really need another fullback because you had Patrick Ricard. So I would say out of all the draft grade, I give it a solid B plus 89.9, A minus. Because the only thing is there's a couple things that happened. The 2019 draft class that we had took a L. These guys are going to have to really prove something with these guys because these guys are making these boys work. And Lamar Jackson has his receiver that I think he needs. Even though I'm not a slight on Hollywood Brown, but we did sign Sammy Watkins. They need another. They needed a true number one. Yeah, and I think Bateman's that guy. Maybe you can make a case for Terrence Marshall Jr. What's the other one? Elijah Moore. Could have made a case for any one of those, but I think Bateman fits the system, and he's definitely been playing. He's definitely been showing out in camp.
Yeah, I agree with that. I love Bateman. I love his size. I would have picked him up, but I really think that with Bateman and with some of the other picks, you guys are kind of leaning towards that. Hey, we're trying to get our passing game in order. We're trying to figure that, and I like that they're giving help to somebody that I believe needs help. And it's almost like, shout out to Nate because we just talked about last night the finals with Giannis and the Bucks. They finally got over the hump and got that win. But every single game in the series, one person has showed up for the Bucks, and that's been Giannis. That's similar to what I'm going to move into the next topic. Every single game that he plays, Lamar Jackson shows up. The problem is, the Ravens do not seem to go any farther unless he gets help. And one of the places that he needs help, and we've talked about it, is wide receiver. So Do you think the draft addressed those needs that can help Lamar?
I think it addressed the needs for the long term.
Okay.
I was a little disappointed, and I understood the salary cap situation. Eric DaCosta, I understood his plan. Let's just grow a wide receiver because, I mean, let's call it what it is. COVID, owners lost money.
Yeah.
And, you can't pay everybody. Everybody was talking about, they need to go after Galladay. They need to go after a marquee free agent. And there were other needs that had to be addressed. I mean, if we signed a wide receiver, that would have, we didn't even re-sign Matthew Judon, and we didn't sign Yannick Ngakoue. So that hurt. So I think building through the draft was smart. And, again, Eric DaCosta is to me, he's one of those GMs where he builds the team through the draft. Because free agency, man, I really feel like ever since we signed Joe Flacco, that contract, we just really haven't been the same as offensively as a team. Because I think, it's just me, if I may say this. When you give a quarterback $100 million plus, you're setting your team up to fail for years to come.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Right. And I completely understand that. Now, Flacco, we obviously they gave it to him after the Super Bowl. But if there was somebody that you would consider giving that kind of money to, it's your current quarterback. I mean, this guy is a playmaker. This guy is a game changer. We discussed last night how one of the games of the year was that Browns versus Ravens game where he went out with cramps and then was able to come back, and he was the X factor. He came in and immediately showed up and showed out to, and I think you agree with me on this, a less than, I want to say maybe an average receiving core. He has guys that can play, but as far as playing this year, Lamar needs more help. Needs more help. We know that. What is it that Lamar can do to potentially assist them?
Well, I think Lamar. I mean, I've been critical of Lamar. The biggest thing with Lamar, he's got to work with his mechanics.
Yeah.
Lamar's going to go out there and do Lamarvelous things.
Yeah. Right.
The biggest thing is, and everybody kind of shot me down when we lost to Tennessee in the divisional playoffs. Lamar Jackson, the score was 20-12.
Right.
Last time I checked, there's some other guys that are getting checks too. Right. Marquise Brown, Miles Boykins, Mark Andrews, dropping passes. And on top of that, the defense did not contain Derrick Henry. Right. That's not Lamar Jackson's job. And I just think that there are some guys that I just don't work out there. I don't think we're ready for the moment.
Yeah. I
mean, we can sit there and say, well, they had practically 2 weeks off. But I don't think guys were ready for the prime. I think there's some guys that just weren't ready. Right. And, last year, unfortunately, Lamar went down with a concussion, and then all hell broke loose. But,
Right. And COVID and all that had, that reared its ugly head during the middle of the season. But again, like we said, everybody, when you think back to 2020, you think back to COVID, you think back to just a crazy year. Obviously, Tom Brady throwing a daggone trophy from one boat to the other. Nope, I'm not going there. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going there. But one of the things you think about is that game. Lamar rushed to the locker room. You don't know what's happening. All of a sudden, Trace McSorley and your other backups are Tyler Huntley are made to fend for themselves and try to do it. And all of a sudden, the Browns rush back. But then, right when they need Superman, they called Lamar back. Lamar came back and he saved the day, man. So anybody would want to have him on that team, and he's that type of player. He's that type of guy that you can depend on.
Just a quick point. John Harbaugh said in the interview when after Trace went down, it was going to be Willie Snead.
Yeah,
as a quarterback,
wide receiver. Right. So yo, shout out to Lamar and hopefully, I mean, can we say this is going to be the breakout year? And it's hard to say that because he's had breakout years. It's not.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I guess what I mean is the breakout year where he's taken them past the divisional playoff. He's, maybe brings them to the cusp of the Super Bowl, if not the Super Bowl? Can we dream that high?
Well, I mean, I think you can, but the biggest thing is, and we said the same thing with basketball. LeBron had Scotty. Not LeBron. Michael had Scotty.
Yeah.
He had Steve Kerr, Horace Grant, Ron Harper, Dennis Rodman. Who does Lamar Jackson have? Because does he have a Kevin McHale? Does he have a Dwayne Wade? Does he have he needs a Robin? He needs guys that are going to step up. Like, unfortunately, because he's practically now the face of the franchise, he's going to get all the glory and all the blame.
All the blame, absolutely.
And unfortunately, that's just the way. That's just how it is in sports. Mm-hmm. But I looked at last year and I looked at guys like Miles Boykin, Hollywood Brown, and then it's time for them to grow up because you can only be great for so long. And we're now going into years where Hollywood Brown was a high draft, I think it was number 5 overall pick by us.
Yeah.
People said we could have done better, but that pick. Marquise Brown's got to prove not to Raven fans but the football world why he was picked that high and why he can be a vertical deep threat.
Right.
Miles Boykin, this 6'4" wide receiver. Listen, the last time I saw a guy like that with that size was Bernard Perriman, and he was trash for Baltimore. Miles Boykin, then they want to convert him to tight end. Makes no sense. Mark Andrews, listen.
Yes.
The second you are behind Travis Kelce, but actually now behind George Kittle. Mm-hmm. It's Kelce, Kittle, and then, in my opinion, Mark Andrews.
Andrews, right? Oh yeah.
These guys, the others around Lamar have to step up.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, like the same day when we played New England in the AFC Championship game, we didn't say Billy Cundiff choked that game. Lee Evans choked that game because if Lee Evans catch that pass, the Super Bowl was in his hands.
Right. Absolutely. But now, and again, I'm glad you brought up the Super Bowl because we are in a league, and I've said it many a times on Washington Football Weekly, Let's Talk Football Roundtable. We are in a league that is constantly becoming, what have you done for me lately? You talk about Marquise Brown, you talk about Miles Boykin, who in a yesteryear and at one time they were highly touted prospects that were, people, a lot of teams would have gone after. But now you've had a couple years in the system. You've had a couple years with the great, yes, we can say the great Lamar Jackson, and you still are not producing. So, boom, what did we do in the draft? Picked up more wide receivers. We picked up more guys that are stud. All right, well, and we're going to put them in this system. If they work, your days are numbered. That's the way it is.
It's a business.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, and
you've said it. I'm not even but you said it also too. This is a results-oriented league, and what have you done for me lately?
Absolutely. And we've talked about this on multiple occasions, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to kind of address this because it's not all on Lamar, okay? And we're going to talk about the help in a little bit. We're going to talk about some potential people that can really help Lamar get to that next level. But before we do that, we have to address this. Why is it, what do Bucky Brooks and these other analysts, why do they seem to have it out for Lamar? You always talk about moving the goalpost. What is it, in your opinion, what is it that seems to just want them to pick on Lamar? Like, why? I don't get that.
Well, because, it makes no sense to me. First and foremost, I forget the one analyst that came out and said, "Oh, if he transitions into a wide receiver, he'll be a wide receiver when he comes out of Louisville." Like that's what it really started.
Yeah,
and we saw what he could do at Louisville as a quarterback. Yeah. I'm not saying he's the next best thing. Every quarterback comes into the draft with flaws, but the way that Lamar was getting criticized, he can't throw the football. He's a mobile quarterback. Josh Allen didn't get that kind of criticism. Sam Darnold didn't get that kind of criticism. Damn sure Baker Mayfield didn't get that criticism. And Josh Rosen. None of those guys in his class got that type of criticism. But Lamar came in again. I remember that season. 4-5, dead in the water. Our season's on the line. John Harbaugh's seat's on fire. They throw in Lamar. They turn around and they win 10 straight. They win 6 straight games. And unfortunately, wet the bed against San Diego in the wild card game. But it seems like they don't want to give Lamar the credit and the respect that he deserves because they're going, well, we've seen that with other quarterbacks.
Right.
You know, they feel like, well, okay, well, Michael Vick did it. Dante Culpepper did it. Donovan McNabb did it. Steve McNair did it. This is nothing new.
Right.
You know, is he thriving because he's in Baltimore's system? I mean, yes, the system has changed, but I just don't think they want to see a quarterback like Lamar Jackson in the NFL. They prefer a Baker Mayfield, and I'm not throwing a race card, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying they prefer a pocket passing quarterback. That's what they want. They don't want to see mobile quarterbacks. But again, the mobile quarterback goes back decades. Fran Tarkenton. Come on, people.
You're right. And look, and we got to shout out Ablo, definitely watching. He joined us last night. He was on the show, and he was saying, oh, trust. Lamar going to get paid. We already believe that. Yes. We know that. But he's saying, look, you know, as because society is, I mean, let's you don't want to bring out the race card, but I mean, if it's there, it's there. You know what I mean? Society does not want to give the same kind of attention to black quarterbacks. That's the way it's been in the league. I mean, we know that. You alluded to it when you're talking about Lamar coming out of the draft, and they say, oh, he'd be a great wide receiver. That's something that's been strongly suggested to a number of our quarterbacks. If you have even an ounce of speed or running ability, they're telling you to move positions. They're telling you to move to another thing. So, you know, you're already going to have an extra amount of critique and criticism from these analysts. But what is it about Lamar? Like, you know what I mean? I watched him in college, and he was a human highlight reel at Louisville that year when he won the Heisman. You know, came in there with that red, suede jacket at the Heisman ceremony, doing his thing. Shout out to him, man. And he was dominant. But on the flip side, they didn't win the national championship.
Unfortunately,
in the ACC, they lost a couple of games. So what is it? I mean, why did they? I mean, we've addressed how Bucky Brooks has had his choice words about him, and how he thought they needed to maybe move on from Lamar, bring in Justin Fields. Why do you think these guys are coming after him?
Because they don't want to admit that they were wrong about the guy. They don't want to admit that. Yeah. They feel like, again, Lamar is a generational type quarterback, other than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like, they don't want those kind of quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, let's just call it what it is. Like, this is nothing new.
Yeah.
You know, I use McNabb, Culpepper, Vick, Randall Cunningham. Like, this notion that you can't win with a mobile quarterback, that's BS.
Right.
Like, Mark Brunell was a mobile quarterback in Jacksonville.
Same with
Elway, Steve Young. Like,
Fran Tarkenton, one of the original mobile quarterbacks. Fran Tarkenton led them to 4 Super Bowls.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So I don't understand where this notion that you can't win with one. And on top of that, you know, Steve McNair, when he was with the Baltimore Ravens, he led. Unfortunately, that still haunts some Raven fans. When they lost to Indianapolis here in the AFC Championship game, Steve McNair, to me, was still a mobile quarterback. Rest in peace, McNair. But I'm just saying, like, the notion. I just think that Bucky Brooks and those that criticize him, they just like to be heard. And then number two, like, anybody that knows football knows what talent looks like. Like, Patrick Mahomes listen, not slight on Patrick Mahomes. As great as Patrick Mahomes was as a quarterback, Patrick Mahomes wasn't that great of a college quarterback.
Right.
There were times where he was inconsistent, but you didn't
Right.
hear those things about him. So the media picks and chooses and wants to create narratives about certain quarterbacks.
And part of it's where you landed, because you're absolutely right. Now in college, Mel Kiper and them didn't favor Patrick. They didn't think he was going to be great, but he landed with the great Andy Reid. You know what I mean? So any of that craziness, any of that extra stuff was tamed down. I don't know
also
what
too, in the same breath. I didn't mean to cut you off. In the same breath, Alex Smith. You put Alex Smith in that system in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Same weapons.
Saw what he did. Absolutely.
Saw what he did. And even Alex Smith was a little bit of a mobile quarterback. Just saying.
Absolutely. Coming out of Utah, you're absolutely right. And he did run that system. And Andy Reid and Bieniemy was with him, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. So they had, with Mahomes. I mean,
can I just ask a question? I know we're talking. I know this is strictly about. I know this is about the Ravens, but can I just ask a quick question? How the Washington football team did want to resign Alex Smith?
No, I was very much for that. I was very much for them not resigning him. I thought he should retire. I personally thought he should retire. I did not want him to play another year because, first and foremost, I don't know if you've ever had a quarterback that's had one solid leg and one that's marshmallow. But
I saw Joe Flacco got his head taken off. I thought his career was over when who was that? Kuechly?
Yeah.
No. Kiko Alonso.
Oh, okay. Yeah, from Miami. Yeah. But no, yeah, him having that in one leg, I was so glad to see him come back. He won comeback player of the year. He did great against, the Steelers, led us to that huge victory, shut them down from being undefeated and whatnot. But I was always scared. From the very first sack when Aaron Donald jumped on his back to hold up. Shout out to Ab Lowe talking about, bro, how Nate asked that question. Ab is very, very much against Mr. Alex Smith. He wanted Alex Smith out of here. No disrespect, but again, Alex Smith, that leg was really messed up. I
understand.
And in all good conscience, I could not sit here and support him coming back for another year and potentially ruining his leg for the rest of his life. Right. You're only going to play for a certain amount of years, and Alex is only going to be a 10-6 or 11-5 quarterback, with a great team. You know what I mean? So I just didn't need him hurting himself anymore.
Right. I didn't get on topic. I just wanted.
Oh no, you good? You good? But look, we got to get into it because I wanted to say, because they're giving Lamar a hard time, and like I alluded to earlier, you can't win a team sport with one player.
You can't.
He can get you very far. The Detroit Lions are a prime example of that. They had Barry Sanders, they got as far as the championship. They had Calvin Johnson, they got to the playoffs with not having much else. Lamar, you have that solid team, but who is he going to have to help him? So, Nathan, who's going to be the breakout player in Baltimore in 2021?
Well, I have three.
Okay.
I'm going to start off with Patrick Queen, linebacker at LSU. He was behind. I believe he was second in votes for Rookie of the Year. I think he had a really good, decent rookie year. J.K. Dobbins, took that starting role earned that role from Mark Ingram, who was serviceable here. Him and Gus Edwards, I think, are a backcourt backfield to be reckoned with.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a little confused. They talked about signing Todd Gurley. I don't know how that would work when you already have J.K., Gus, who you just signed, and then Justice Hill. But I tell you, he still hasn't made up his mind what he wants to do.
I think they'd be running back by committee, because I don't think Gurley, I don't think he would be your starter. Like he's not going to be a 35 carry a game guy. He's going to be maybe a 5 to 10 carries. Maybe if you can get him out of the backfield or on a screen or something. You're really looking. Yeah, you're looking for that glimpse of what he used to be.
Right. Yeah. And then I have to go with Hollywood Brown again. Like, this was a guy that was drafted the fifth overall pick ahead of Corey Davis and a couple other wide receivers. Like he's already established. Like he's established himself, but he had like 768 receiving yards. That's not going to get it done. Like I know the type, and again, I think he has to be. He's the key for Lamar because if you looked at him, you know. Like you, Ablo, those of you guys that know football, especially that played the game, there are guys that don't like contact. Like the defensive backs play, he plays a certain type of way where he doesn't like physical contact. So he has to learn how to. I think he's really the one. But those are my three breakout players.
Interesting. I like that, and I think they're going to have to shine. They're going to have to shine. I can't. I think hopefully for you guys, Andrews continues to just play as consistent and as dominant as he's been playing. Right. Mark Andrews is tight end because I think he's definitely a cog. He's a key cog in that. He's definitely Lamar's safety blanket. Yeah, and you need that consistent play from him. But I'm eager to see what your defense does.
I'm eager to see it too. I'm disappointed they still haven't addressed just signing a pass rusher. Everyone has talked about either Melvin Ingram or Justin Houston. They're just patiently just sitting out there waiting for a phone call. Right. And I don't know what Eric DeCosta's really – I don't know what his thinking is. If I may look at the salary cap for Baltimore real quick, because it's kind of mind-boggling that's really the glaring issue is the need of a pass rusher. Let's see. We have exactly – a little $9 million in cap. So
you can get him for a 1-year deal, man. You can get him for something, man. I mean, and restructure some things next year. I mean, you got to do something because and that's where I'm going to go back to the draft. I mean, is not that's one of the things you made the trade with the Chiefs to get that second pick in the first round. Are you disappointed by that? Are you disappointed that they didn't address that? I mean, the wide receiver was definitely a need that you needed, but I forget who you got in your second pick. Wasn't the Michigan player? Or
for the first round pick?
Yeah, your second pick in the first round, the one you traded with
Adafe Onwa.
Okay, who's it? Defensive end?
Outside linebacker from Penn State.
Okay. And shout out to Ab. He's saying he'd argue that they need 2 pass rushers. Probably
I agree. I mean, I think you can get Melvin Ingram and Houston on a very cheap deal. But I think what hurts is Earl Thomas's contract, which is like $10 million, and then we got to pay, Mark Ingram, and then LJ Ford, and then obviously we got to pay the remains of Orlando Brown. But really, it's Earl Thomas's contract.
Yeah.
That really hurts. So,
and it's going to be interesting. We're going to see how that plays out in this coming year because Lamar needs help, and you definitely have people that can step up and do it, but they have to step up and do it. Like exactly, we can talk about this all day long, but once it comes to game time, that's when people show because we know Lamar is going to show up.
What about the others? And that's what I've been trying to tell people. But again. Stars, they get all the praise and they get all the glory. And
exactly.
And again, and also too, I think you look at it, it's Patrick Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. It's like Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah,
I understand.
That's why, like I said last night, Lamar got to get that ring.
Listen, I'm with you, but in order for him to get that ring, like Michael Jordan, my dad would tell me we need help. My dad told me stories when Jordan first came in the league. Was on the back of the bus crying, getting bounced with the first round by the Larry Bird led Celtics and Isaiah Thomas's Detroit Pistons. And, that's when again Scotty, Dennis, Ron, Luke Longley, Tony Kukoc, and those boys. It's all about the others around Michael Jordan that matters. Right. Same thing you say with Shaq and Kobe. I mean, it's documented in every sport.
Right. You need that help. You definitely need that help. And before we go, man, we talked about what we need. We talked about Lamar. Let's go. Let's give a live prediction, something we can look back to. What do you think will happen this year? What kind of record do you think you're going to have? Playoffs? Are we predicting Super Bowl? What are we saying right now?
Baltimore will win the AFC North,
Okay.
and they will. And I predict that they will get to the Super Bowl AFC Championship.
Woo! So they'll make it to the Super Bowl or just to the championship?
I said they make it to the Super Bowl.
Wow. You have heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. My man, Nathan Smooth Groove, I'm on YouTube, Snell, is saying the Baltimore Ravens will be going to the Super Bowl. Ablo shaking his head. Yo,
I just think the way last year was, and I think I feel like there's a sense of they're going to get back there. I understand with Cleveland, you know. The only thing is I don't know what Odell Beckham Jr. is going to look like, and I don't know what the rest of the AFC is going to look like. You know, I don't know what Kansas City's new shiny toys with Orlando Brown Jr. and then they signed Kyle Long. I don't know what they're going to look like. There's a lot of questions in the AFC.
Very true.
That I have questions about.
Now, Ablo said, with what pass rush?
Now that's the key. Now, if you push me, I will say they will get as far as if without a pass rush, they're likely a second round exit.
Yeah.
So I understand it's all about guys who are going to be really expected to carry the load and step up, but I just think the biggest thing is, I think one, you guys have the offense, how the offense will look, and how that defense will look. I know what Don Martindale and his defense is, how they've played, but Eric DeCosta has got to address the pass rush. And again, we're still in the off season, so guys can be cut today, tomorrow, next week. So
very true. Very true. This might be very different from what the actual roster looks like on day one, on game one. Excuse me.
And there was a couple people we did sign out. Was kind of a head scratching. Like we signed Jawan James, offensive lineman from Denver, who I feel bad for. Unfortunately, lost out $20 million because of the injury happened off facility. So,
yep.
And then we signed a guy from the Indianapolis Colts. I was kind of surprised we didn't take Patrick Mahomes' left old guards. We didn't take the left and right. Could have signed them with
Fisher, Schwartz, right?
Yes.
Y'all definitely could have got Fisher or Schwartz, man. I mean, I still think I got some years left in them.
Right.
But I got to shout out my girl, my homegirl, Janae Strother, man, because you picked this year, 2021, the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl. Somebody else picked that last year. I'm gonna shout out my girl Janae.
Janae, who you got? Janae, who you got? Let's do it right now. Who you got to win it all? The two teams are going to the Super Bowl, and who's gonna win it?
I'm calling it here, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be
Here we go.
The Baltimore Ravens versus the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
I gotta show love to Janae. I got to show love to Janae. Last year, she picked her Cowboys to play your Ravens in the Super Bowl. As we know, that didn't happen. The Ravens at least made it to the playoffs. The Cowboys were trash. So
I think without Dak Prescott, there was a lot of I think all hell broke loose.
No. Let me ask you this. Could that prediction that Janae said last year, could that come true this year? Healthy Dak, a resurgent Zeke?
Well, that depends. I mean, the NFC East, I think, got a little bit better. Let's just call it what it is. The NFC East was very awful to watch. Some of those games I got a chance to look at, and with I think everyone coming back, especially Dak, I think is key. Dallas addressed the defensive issues, the defensive needs. I like the Micah Parsons pick. I personally would have went with Jeremiah OK. That's just me of Dallas, but I think if a healthy Dak and an Ezekiel Elliott, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, and those boys, they'll be all right.
That should be very interesting. I, ladies and gentlemen, will never say the Dallas Cowboys are going to go to the Super Bowl. I'd rather be a Ravens. Well, actually, I'm already a Ravens fan. I'd rather be a Raiders fan. I don't know. I'm just never going to say it. So, period. Let's go.
But Sean, Dallas Cowboy fans are just like New York Yankee fans. They're just.
I can't do it.
They make my skin crawl.
I cannot do it. Yo, I got to shout out my girl, Janae Struther, the only bearable Dallas Cowboy fan that I can be around. I can't be around a lot of you, but Janae definitely makes it fun. Check us out this fall because we will be coming back. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, I have been live with Nathan Snell talking Raiders. Wait, Ablo's talking about they the same damn fans usually. Yep, Yankees and Cowboys, brash and boisterous and all out beside their mouth. Yo, shout out to Ab. He's been watching us through and through, man. My guy, man. Definitely tuning in. Hey, yo, tune in to us. We will be back Wednesday, Washington Football Weekly, where you can see the shirtless wonder, Mr. Moist, Ab Lowe, Dub K, Will Kramer. Where in the world is Mr. Moral Support, Anton Benson, and your boy Double Deuces on the loose, SP Sean Spencer, baby. We will be back for you definitely on that. I got to shout out my guy, Nathan Snell. And real quick, Nathan, you got any project, anything you working on right now, your next show? Or
Yeah, so episode 13 will be out as soon. Game 4 with the Suns and the Bucks. We just concluded episode 12 again. I want to give a special thank you, shout out to Ablo and Sean Spencer for joining me on that. WNBA is kind of coming. We're now on the All-Star break with the WNBA. Major League Baseball, we'll talk about that. There's a couple guys that did decide to not play, and just talk about the All-Star game in general, how I felt about it. So be on the tune in for that on episode 13. But once the NBA season is a wrap, that'll conclude season 1 of Big Nate Talk Podcast. And we're going to season 2, where I'm hoping to definitely get my feed wet even more. I'm hoping to get more interviews. I've been trying to reach out to different, like some WNBA ball players, and I haven't gotten anywhere with it yet. But I'm crossing my fingers and I'm praying. So.
Oh yeah, and definitely keep doing that. Keep grooving. Keep reaching out to them, man, because eventually it's going to happen. They're going to see that you know your content, you know your stuff, and you still grinding, man. And I absolutely love that, man. Yo, shout out to Nathan. So glad you were with us, man. So glad we got an opportunity to be with you on your show. Also, wanted to mention we will be all of the hosts of the Let's Talk Football family. Myself, Janae Struther, Nicholas Rosario, Delilah Crespo, Nathan Snell, Will Kramer, Ablo, and Anton Benton will be doing a fantasy football league for the 8 of us this fall, and we will be broadcasting it. And I'm trying, Nate, I'm going to have to coordinate with you. Ab, I know you're watching. I'm going to have to coordinate with you. I want to do a live draft as one of the shows. So we can all be in here. We can talk trades. That way nobody can be absent. Nobody could be, I couldn't be here, whatever. Yo, and you'll get skipped in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? We'll have a little incentive, maybe a little money pool thing going on. And the loser is going to have to wear the opponent, one of the opponents, their most hated rivals' jerseys. So
doing that.
Nathan Snell. As many times as we be on here, if I need to get you a Pittsburgh jersey, if I need to do it, I'll wear Cowboys.
I will light myself on fire before I wear a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey.
Yo, with you saying that, hold up. Let me see if do I have it on here? I don't know if I have it. No, I don't think I have it on here. I had to succumb to that one year where I had to wear the daggone Dallas Cowboys jersey because I lost a bet. But thank God, I think I threw that clip away. I think I trashed that. But, yo, it's your boy, Sean Spencer, man. One half of that dynamic duo that's Let's Talk Football. I'm here with my guy, Nathan Snell, Ravens Insider. Nathan Snell, that's his YouTube channel. Check him out for sure.
Yes, sir.
So glad you could join me. So glad all y'all are watching. Ab, I'll talk to you soon. Jason Thomas, Cat, or Jason Brown, Cat, all y'all that checked us out. Appreciate y'all so much. We will be with you guys soon. Peace and a bottle of hair grease. Love you to death. Nate, appreciate you, buddy.
Appreciate you.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. Here. The lion. New music, so funny. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae Strother.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this is